Hello and welcome back. In this video, we are focusing on one of the most important setup decisions in Co-work, file and folder permissions. Because once Co-work starts working with real files on your system, the question is not just what it can do, but also what it should be allowed to access. So let's understand how to set safe boundaries before we let it do real work. Think of this as defining Co-work's working boundary. What folders can it read from, where can it write outputs, and what should stay completely out of scope. If you get this part right clearly, Co-work becomes much safer and much easier to trust in daily workflows. At a basic level, Co-work only needs access to the files and folders relevant to the task. It may read files to gather input or context, and it may write files to save summaries, drafts, or updated outputs. So, a good permission model is not about giving maximum access. It is about giving just enough access for the work that needs to be done. A simple way to think about permissions is in two stages. In a safer, more controlled setup, you keep Co-work inside a narrow workspace for testing and experimentation. In a broader production setup, it may work with real files, real outputs, and in some cases, even connected tools or apps. So, the question to ask yourself is, am I still experimenting or am I ready for real production work? One of the best habits you can build is creating a dedicated workspace folder, something like /cowork project. This gives cowork one clear place to work in, and it gives you one clear place to review what it creates. Instead of letting files spread across your system, you create a safe zone for drafts, reports, experiments, and outputs. That makes the whole workflow cleaner right from the beginning. Now, let's think about what should go inside that workspace. Good candidates are project files, research folders, working drafts, non-sensitive reports, and output folders. In other words, things that support the current workflow without exposing unnecessary risk. A useful rule here is simple. Allow only what the current task actually needs. And just as important as what you allow is what you block. Sensitive folders like finance records, legal files, HR data, personal archives, or anything containing credentials, API keys, or confidential data should stay out of scope. A helpful mindset is this. If a folder would make you uncomfortable sharing with an assistant, it probably should not be shared with cowork either. So, permission design is not only about convenience, it is also about judgment. Now, here is the interesting part. Cowork's decisions are shaped by the boundaries you set. If only a small set of folders is available, it will make read and write decisions within that scope. That is exactly what we want. Narrow boundaries lead to safer behavior, clear execution, and easier review. So, in many ways, good permissions are not just a safety control, they are also a way to improve focus. Of course, your setup does not need to stay fixed forever. A good approach is to start narrow, validate the workflow, and then expand access gradually as your use cases grow. Maybe you begin with one project folders, then later add research folders, output folders, or trusted connected tools. The key is to expand intentionally, not all at once. So, if we bring it all together, the best strategy is simple. Start with one dedicated workspace folder, keep sensitive directories out of scope, use cowork first on straightforward read and write tasks, then only after the workflow proves itself, expand access to more folders or trusted tools. That way, you get the benefits of cowork without creating unnecessary risk from day one. So, that was our guide to settling file and folder permissions in cowork. The key takeaway is that permissions define cowork's working boundary, and the clearer that boundary is, the safer and more reliable the workflow becomes. Start small, stay intentional, and expand only when the workflow truly needs it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.